welcome to Women Who Lead. I'm your host, Christy Primer. Today I am sitting down with three incredible guests, kicking off with Amy Scott from Straight to the Point.
Hi, Christy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being my guest. Just to be clear, we're going to be talking with three different incredible women, Dr. Chelsea Dakers and Colleen Thackar, plus yourself, who have gotten together for a collaboration. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk a little bit about each of you individually.
Sure.
So tell me about Straight to the Point.
So Straight to the Point is a wellness clinic that I opened 4 years ago. There at that clinic, I operate as a registered nurse, manual osteopath, and Mercier therapist, specializing in women's health and fertility.
What is a Mercier therapist?
Mercier therapy, that's a good question. So Mercier therapy was developed by Dr. Jennifer Mercier, a physician and midwife, naturopathic doctor out of Illinois that I actually trained under. And Mercier therapy is a deep pelvic organ visceral manipulation that aims to restore proper function, blood flow, and anatomy within the pelvis.
I have to highlight, the more research I do on women's health, pelvic health is imperative to overall wellness.
Absolutely, and it's such a disservice because we don't know a lot about these therapies and modalities that are an option for us.
Wow. Okay, tell me, and anyone who's watching that maybe doesn't know what an osteopath does, or what kind of person would come and see you.
Yes, absolutely. I get that question all the time. What is osteopathy as well? What is it that you do? Yeah. And it's loaded. There's a lot to it, but in a nutshell, it is a combination, a holistic approach to healing the body on multiple systems and multiple levels using different modalities. So in a nutshell, hiccups to hysterectomy. Yeah.
There you have it.
Yes.
So how do people, 4 years, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're located in Forest.
Yes.
How do people find out about your services or come to work with you? Do they talk to someone who's worked with you? Do they call and just make a consult to meet you? How does that work?
Absolutely. They can call our office, follow us on Facebook, social media, and as well, a lot of my clients, I've been blessed because the people I see and treat and have success are my marketing agents, which is incredible because everyone that I see brings 5 more into my clinic, and it's been truly amazing.
And what a testimony to the work that you're doing and how it helps.
Thank you.
So one of the things I want to talk a bit about before we get into the collaboration is, why do you do what you do? What led you to this? And I don't want to diminish, like, nurses do a lot of wonderful things. Yeah. Thank you so much for your service. But what led you to having your own clinic? Like, what's a little piece of that story?
Of that why? That is a really good question. My why and why I do what I do, and starting in the nursing profession and yearning to help people and make an impact and a difference in this world, and help women. And I knew I wanted more. That wasn't just it in nursing. I wanted more. People would say I was crazy. You're going to leave this profession and go out on your own? Absolutely, because there were bigger things and bigger dreams that I wanted to pursue.
You obviously had an innate calling to elevate and to do more, to have a greater impact.
Absolutely.
I think fertility is something that so many women struggle with and allowed to identify them as a woman, and there is no shame in that. I think the work that you're doing is very beautiful and powerful, and that's one piece of it, I know, but I just think there's so much more we need to learn.
That's right.
So I'm grateful there's something like your business and services in our community. So let's dive into the collaboration between yourself, Dr. Chelsea Dakers, and Colleen Thackar.
Yes.
What, from your perspective, is your role in this?
My role in this collaboration. So this collaboration came through a vision of mine in the clients that I see in my clinic struggling with infertility, and how could I better serve them? And having a passion to educate and raise awareness about alternative health practices and therapies that were out there and an option. And in my success, wanting to elevate my success to a whole new level. And I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I needed a team. I needed a team of other like-minded women and pieces to that success puzzle for myself and my clients I was serving. So it was important finding the right people and finding those components in Colleen herself with the beautiful work she does with mind and body. I knew she was the right woman for that role. And Chelsea as well, her dynamic outlook on health and that piece that she had, and that in turn, our program on fertile ground was born and came to fruition. So really excited. On fertile ground.
On fertile ground.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is launching soon.
It is in the new year. Yes.
2021.
2021.
Wow. And you know what? I have to say this because the show is Women Who Lead.
Yes,
Leaders leading leaders and fellow women.
Right.
What a powerful collaboration for three women who have similar whys, perhaps, but a vision to reach more women and to be of greater service.
Yes.
To actually connect.
Yes, and seeing that gap and identifying that gap.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how did you, and I'll ask each of them from their perspective as well, but how did you connect with one another? Like, were you already connected and then you just shared your vision and it was a no-brainer to move forward with it?
Yes, that's interesting. So actually treating Colleen as a client of mine, and she's okay with sharing that story. Like you said, we need to empower other women.
So we don't feel so alone.
That's right, yes. And discussing her passion and her struggles and the work she was doing to better herself. And Chelsea and Mason, actually, when they came to town, I'll let her elaborate on her story because it's super exciting. But they were actually going to be working with me in my clinic, and their journey led them elsewhere, which stay tuned because I'll let Chelsea fill you in on that.
So what would you say for someone watching that maybe has had their own business and is experiencing some success, but is thinking about collaborating with a greater purpose or mission? What are some things they could look for to make sure it's the right fit?
That's right, and that's really important because it's not just anyone.
Yeah,
you
have
to be aligned with these people, and a lot of thought process goes into it, and it doesn't just happen overnight. And a lot of work, right? And collaborating is difficult. We all run our own businesses too, and are busy in our clinics and taking that time to come together. And usually, when you all share that passion for the same thing, it evolves, which is really amazing.
Yeah, so making sure the alignment's there.
Absolutely.
This has been amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being...
Thank you, Christy. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure.
I can feel your desire to help others.
Thank you.
Amy Scott from Straight to the Point. We'll see you right after this break.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Women Who Lead. I am sitting down with my second guest, Colleen Thakar from Wander Within. And we are talking about not only you and your magnificence, but the collaboration, as I've just spoken with Amy Scott, and Dr. Chelsea Dakers will be coming up later. But let's go first to your business and why you do what you do. Actually, first tell me what you do, and then why.
I'm a yoga instructor, and I was drawn to yoga seeking stress relief. And through my practice, I realized positive changes and healing, and that really inspired me to pursue teaching.
Okay.
And through teaching, I could help others. I was really drawn to restorative yoga. Okay. So when I finished my teacher training, I did additional training for restorative yoga.
Tell me a bit about what that is.
Yes. So when we think of yoga, it's oftentimes people will think of movement and postures, and restorative yoga is actually active relaxation. So we're supporting the body with props, so you can be the most comfortable you can be in your pose, and we're creating stillness.
Wow.
So within that stillness, we take time to really acknowledge how we're feeling, and through processing our thoughts and our feelings, that's what facilitates healing.
Oh, I love this, and how beautiful.
It's so beautiful. So it's becoming more mainstream, I think, restorative. And so I started with that, and guided meditation, combining the two.
Wow.
And restorative is really for everybody, and it's excellent for stress management, for anyone that is recovering from an illness or an injury.
Okay.
So very healing. And I realized that this modality would be very helpful for individuals and couples that were facing infertility.
Wow.
So I identified, okay, this is a need in our local area, fertility especially. So I decided to pursue additional training. So I've been studying and practicing yoga for women's health for about 1.5 years. So really diving deep into my own practice to see how it could work and how I can share it with others.
Yeah.
And so really focusing on yoga for menstruation, healthy cycles, yoga for fertility, specific for fertility, as well as miscarriage and loss.
Wow.
So a really amazing support tools.
I think too, and it's something I just spoke about earlier with Amy, but there's so many people that have faced different challenges with fertility and all the things that encompass that. How do couples, they book appointments, or do you have a studio space where they have weekly classes?
I was teaching in a studio space, and I've recently moved to virtual, just online classes.
But that's convenient.
It's convenient, and it's actually, it works really well because I time it to sessions at 8:30 p.m. So you're super relaxed and you can go to bed and have the best sleep.
Yeah.
So, I do offer recordings as well.
Okay.
And so that way people can practice when it's convenient for them.
I just think that's so powerful that that's an option, and that's how you've shifted to online. Now, how do people find these? Like, find you? Is it through social media?
Yeah, so far social media and my website. I guide people to my website. And
What is your website?
it's wanderwithin.ca.
Wanderwithin.ca.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've had offerings focused on restorative up to this point. And I'm really working on combining, especially with this new collaboration, combining meditation, visualization, mindful movement, and restorative. So it won't be restorative only, it's a combination. And so it's a real mind-body connection. So if we're nourishing our body, then we nourish our heart, our soul. It's the whole connection piece.
I love it in such depth, such depth. So let's talk a little bit about, we understand why you got into this, because of your own journey.
Yes, it's my personal experience with infertility. And
thank you for sharing that, because there's someone watching right now that is struggling.
And I would like to inspire others. So with infertility, failed treatments, I did have a natural conception and then miscarriage. So I've experienced the roller coaster of emotions. And I really did look to different modalities to help, different alternatives, and that's how I collaborated with Amy.
Wow.
So it's really come full circle.
Yes. Now I want to talk a little bit about your role in the collaboration with Amy Scott and Dr. Chelsea Dakers. What's that look like? Again, it's on fertile ground.
On fertile ground. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. So what is your role?
So my role will be providing the yoga and meditation piece.
Okay. And will that stay online?
Initially, we're going to have it online. I will connect virtually with each couple. So, I can learn about each journey is very individual.
Absolutely.
And then I can customize tools to help each couple. So yes, initially it's going to be online, and then the couples will see Chelsea and Amy in person.
Okay.
So no live classes for me, but part of it is I'm really embodying cyclical living. And so I see our cycle as 4 phases. And so the recordings that I release will be specific to each phase of the cycle. And that way women can sync their practice to where they are in their cycle.
Wow.
So it works better as a recording, but eventually I will move to in-person as well.
I am just holding space for you and the courage that you have shared with a snippet of your own personal journey. I feel like that empowers so many men and women that are watching, and I can't wait to learn more about the 4 phases and more about the collaboration. Thank you for being my guest, and thank you for sharing this opportunity, because I originally just wanted to have you. So thank you for empowering fellow sisters. We'll be back right after this break. Welcome back to Women Who Lead. Now I am sitting down with my 3rd guest, Dr. Chelsea Dakers.
Hello.
And I am excited to talk with you. You and your partner, Mason Brissett, have created the Health Creation Lab. Okay, so I want to talk a bit about that before we get into your role in the collaboration.
Okay.
So let's start with you're a doctor, a naturopathic doctor. You say it better than me?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about what that means, because I have an understanding, but there might be people watching that are curious.
Yes, amazing. So glad you asked. So it's a naturopathic doctor, and even it doesn't even roll off the tongue with like that ease, because we need to create a little more awareness of what is this profession?
Yes.
What do we even do? So we went to naturopathic medical school, and that's similar to conventional.
You and Mason are both doctors.
We're both naturopathic doctors.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we met in naturopathic medical school, but that's similar to conventional medical school, but it's also very different in that our toolkit is really the distinguishing factor. So we're primary care health providers. We do all the physical exams, all the diagnoses that your regular family doc would do, but our toolkit is different. So we're using herbs, we're using whole foods, we're using lifestyle stuff, we're using acupuncture, tools that are not pharmaceuticals or surgeries.
Okay, incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So tell me your journey of, before I ask you why, but tell me your journey to creating the Health Creation Lab.
Okay, I'm dialing back in my mind. Where does it all begin? It began for me personally many moons ago when I was on the front lines of primary care.
Okay.
So I was an executive medical assistant for a medical doctor, and so I was like running multiple family clinics.
Okay.
And so I saw what that meant to be a family doctor. I was scheduling the schedules. I was, creating the meetings with the drugs reps. I was creating the flow with all these different medical clinics. And I realized something in there wasn't for me. I needed more of a central focus on health, hence the Health Creation Lab. For us, health creation is a concept.
Okay.
It's about centering, focusing, nourishing, and supporting health first. And so that's what we do here is we create strategies and tools for people to learn how to create their own health.
Wow, inner wellness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I want to ask, I love this. I am such an advocate for holistic wellness, mind, body, soul, and it's got to be in flow and it's got to be connected, and if one is out of alignment, everything else is. So I know that there's like all kinds of, I call them tinctures, concoctions.
Yes. Yes.
What does that mean? So someone might be watching and they might be like, okay, I've heard of this, but I'm not familiar, like what's in it? And I know there's several, but what does that mean?
Totally, absolutely, awesome question. So there's different forms of, let's start with herbal medicine. So for example, a herb, like you grow the herb and then you snip it and you dry it and then you cut up into bits. That's loose herb.
Okay.
That could be made into a tea, just like any tea. Like you put a tea bag in hot water, then that hot water becomes medicated. So the water is what's delivering the medicine. Whereas a tincture, for example, so you have that same plant, you snip it off the ground, but now you put it in alcohol. the alcohol takes out the plant medicine and the alcohol is the delivery. And so we like to play as naturopathic doctors, what actions, what plant chemicals do we want to work with, and what delivery mechanism is best suited. So that's the art behind the science.
What gave you the oomph, the courage to say, I'm doing this, I'm starting my own business?
Oh my gosh. I think it's interesting because we're talking about collaboration in this space, and I think if I really follow the thread, it has been my community all the way along. So that the man, Dr. Karim Sarani, who I worked with, actually inspired me to change my undergraduate degree. And then further, I had another mentor who kind of steered me in a direction towards naturopathic medicine. So it was like this community surrounded me, and really that courage was cultivated by being in connection with people who loved me, who believed in me, and that gave me that power to step forward. Because I think for some of us, when we're traversing business, we need a cheerleader, and I've just been really blessed to have a few.
Amazing, and your energy is magnetic. So I want to shift into the collaboration, your role in it. I see you have a lovely necklace there.
Thank you.
Well, it's very clear that that's a uterus with fallopian tubes.
That's what it is.
Women's health.
Absolutely.
So I want to know, so on your January 2021, this will be launching with Amy Scott and Colleen Thakar. So what is your role in this collab?
Okay, so my role is to work with Colleen and work with Amy to create a holistic wellness space that honors the entire experience of the fertile journey. So what I do specifically as a naturopathic doctor is after they have been in relationship with Amy and Colleen, built some foundations, I then come in and I say, okay, what are we working with here? So we know that fertility is one of the chief concerns. But if we take a step back and we say, on a foundational level, what is your health like? Do we have underlying insulin control problems? Do we have digestive disturbance? Are we not sleeping? What are these foundational pieces of health that create robust fertility that are missing? And so I put that pieces together and I map out a treatment protocol that basically creates that foundation for health. We learn together how to create the foundation for health so fertility emerges naturally.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
It's like the phoenix rises. This is just so empowering. And the fact that 3 women plus Dr. Mason are
exactly.
collabing. And I want to just highlight, that means there's services for men.
Absolutely.
Because men have their own struggles and challenges. And I think it's really important that as an advocate for women and women's health, we also realize there's great men out there that have their own issues.
Absolutely. And Mason is, he's got a big, beautiful, bursting heart. He's such a compassionate man. And he's really excited to help other men learn how to take good care of themselves.
Yes.
And it takes pressure off of, if it is a heterosexual couple who are on their fertility journey, we want to make sure that we're honoring both people, right? We want to make sure that both people are supported and not just, oh, it's a woman's thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Wow, this has been incredible. I want to thank you for your time, for your role in this collaboration on Fertile Ground, the 3 of you, and thank you so much, Dr. Dakers. We will catch you next time on Women Who Lead.